I thought it was a lot of disrespect the whole week. And so you're not going to be disrespectful the whole week in the media. We didn't talk in the pregame. I was out there the whole time at the 50-yard line. He walked through our whole our whole huddle on our end zone and came a long way around and get to his side of the field in the pregame. Thought that wasn't classy at all. So you want to do that, don't come with me and try to bro hug me like we're friends. We ain't friends. You didn't shake my hand before the game. Why you shaking my hand after the game? You're not going to come here and disrespect me and my team and my school and then want to bro hug me. Shake my hand and get the hell on. Period. You got the W. Great job. I hope he comes back next year. I pray he don't get a Power 5 job so we can play them next year in Jackson. And I pray they put us for their damn home.
What's up, people? I was listening to some YouTube content regarding Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. For anyone that doesn't know, Caitlin Clark is a shooting forward for the Iowa Hawkeyes who were finalists in the women's Final Four. Angel Reese is a possible shooting forward or guard for the LSU Tigers, who are the national champs of women's college basketball. That was one Sunday. And there was an incident that occurred as the game was about to end and the score was pretty much decided that LSU was going to win this game and become national champions for the first time in school history. And in that moment, one player decides to go over to the opposing team's best player and make a gesture near her. I don't know if she walked right up in her grill and did this, but she went over to her and did this. And people, the reaction that people are having to it, the way the media is covering it, and how it's being mentioned about people are going in on the young lady for LSU, Angel Reese. Angel Reese. She's being asked about, hey, what was that all about? And if you think back, with Coach Prime and that coach from Alabama State, you ain't swag. We always got to come up with an excuse for why we do what we do when we do it. I'm just sitting back and listening to all this. What concerns me most is how quickly this devolved into racism. How quickly this incident devolved into racism. Let's look at this incident in its most elemental form first. First of all, this was a hotly contested national championship game of women's college basketball between two good teams, between the two best teams in this tournament. And when it got down to the end, people were beginning to realize they were going to win, and other people were beginning to realize they were going to take the L. Obviously, those who are about to take the L are in a different mood than those who are about to win. And so, here you have this young lady who's about to win LSU's first title ever in women's basketball. And she acts out in a way that could have been perceived as unsportsmanlike. If that would happen during an earlier part of the game, that could have been deemed unsportsmanlike. And now everyone is comparing her act to the way Caitlin Clark did in previous rounds with other teams that Iowa was defeating. People are saying, well, she did the same thing. Now, without trying to go there, and I'm not for or against these two individuals. See, back to its most elemental form, this was between two players. At the end of the day, this was between two players. And now this has become a national news. An incident that happened on the court in a national championship final is now news. And it's being totally, in my opinion, misconstrued. Totally misconstrued. Stephen A. Smith weighed in. And God bless Stephen A. Smith wherever he is right now. But Stephen A. Smith has a bone of sensationalism in his DNA. I don't know if I said that right. Forgive me if it didn't come out right. But we as a community lose our mind whenever there's a racist overtone or undertone, depending on if you're woke, in the conversation. Whenever racism is brought up, we check out. We're done. So far as this being an adult conversation, we're done. The conversation is finna devolve into all types of whatever. He did it. I'm sorry. In this case, she did it. What's wrong with me doing it? And ultimately, it's between two people. We're in two people's business. I'm doing this because one person did something to another person, and now it's made national news. And people in our community are saying it's racist involved. It's racism involved. And I just want to say, and I told you about this channel, metamorphosis, the process of transformation from a immature form to an adult form. At some point, people in our community, we got to stop playing the victim every time something appears to be racist. Everything ain't racist, people. My goodness. We're not going to ever, well, let me back up. Some of you all are not going to ever get anywhere if every time you run into an obstacle, you're claiming racism. Now, I'm not saying it doesn't exist. Far be it from me to ever say that. It does exist. But for the people who holler about it the most, no, you're not going through that. You may be just going through a misunderstanding, and you're construing it as such to make it seem like you have a side or you have a dog in the fight. I don't think this Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese court gesture issue is a non-issue. You know what is an issue? Gas prices. You know what else is an issue? Rising food costs. You know what else is an issue? Things that are not going to change in your personal life because of this incident. Whether you believe this is racist or not, how are you doing? How are things going on in your life right now? I can promise you, playing the victim is not going to help. I'm going to leave y'all with that. And I'm going to leave you with this. It's time that we come out of the larva stage, the immature form, and move into the adult stage, people. At some point, we can't look at every incident being about racism. We got to move on, people. Every time something comes up, and people like Dr. Johnson, constant reminders of the past. Tell me, yes, they say, well, if you don't know your past, you don't know your future. I get that. I get that. Be aware of that. Be conscious of that. But do not let it saddle you from becoming who you are, from becoming successful. Don't let that be the excuse why you're not successful. But how long are we going to continue to blame other people for the things we're personally not getting done in our own lives? Stop blaming others. Have a moment of self-introspection. There was a group, I forgot their name. They had a song called, or it was a verse in a song called, check yourself before you wreck yourself. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. Come on, people. We got to get out of this victimhood mentality. It's not helping us. It is not helping us, people. And it hasn't helped us. And people continually use racism to keep us trapped in that state of mind. And as long as you remain in that state of mind, you're never going to grow to your potential. You're never going to realize your potential, because it's always being hindered by the obstacle of racism. I'm not saying it doesn't exist, people. That's not what I'm saying. But I am saying in most cases, it's the boogeyman. He's up under your bed. No, you look up under your bed, it's nothing up under there. And that's how we look at most of these situations. This Caitlin Clark issue is not racist. How people view it can be construed as such. But that shouldn't change your mind about an incident that happened between two teams, two players in a national championship final. That's all that happened, people. Don't make any more of it than it is, and don't let anyone make you think any more of it than it should be. Be adults, people. And I'm sorry, I know I keep saying this, but I'm going to leave you with this, and I mean it this time. There are a lot of kids running around in adult bodies. They're articulate. They're smart. They're witty. They have all the earmarkings of an adult. But when that R word is mentioned, oh my God, they become children. They become, they fold to an elementary form of a mentality. And it just doesn't sound right. Especially if the two people involved are not at each other about this issue, why are we concerned? You all have a blessed evening, and I'll come back at you with more stuff on another level. Okay? As I stated, if you find this compelling, insightful, and inspiring, subscribe to this channel. Subscribe to this channel, and let's grow together from an immature form to a mature form. You all have a blessed one. I'm out.